stop when I see cars in them, but normally you don't even need to stop. You just kind of roll through them. A lot of casual cyclists on this trail, like you saw that guy back there, who aren't necessarily expecting oncoming traffic from behind them. So I have a bell I can use, but I usually just call. And people with no helmets, which I'm sure is an argument for evolution. So the gear that I carry, in addition to my helmet, I never go 10 feet on a bike without a helmet. Since I've had 2 or 3 serious accidents, the helmet has probably saved my life 3 times. Good helmet. If you have an accident and it gets banged, throw it away. Get a new one, they're cheap. You get them for $8 at the fire station, although I pay a little more and get something a little more stylish. Lighter and well ventilated. Good rear view mirror, just so you can see who's coming up behind you, especially if you're out in traffic. I like to kind of go off your glasses. Good glasses, of course. You want gloves? I don't have any right now because I mislaid mine. Both pairs. Many cyclists that I encounter who pass me on the left neglect to call out in doing so, which always is a little startling. Suddenly see someone out of the corner of your eye passing you on the left, so I always try to call out. It's just good manners when cycling. Also, if you have cyclists behind you, learn this doing a little bit of competitive cycling. Ridden the Seattle to Portland, the STP 3 times, 205 miles approximately. And if you're cycling in groups or teams and you're in front, you'll want to use hand motions to indicate road hazards, gravel, things like that. There's different motions that you can use for those things, as well as hand turn signals. If you're slowing, stopping, or turning. Like now we are stopping, so I will use my hand signal indicating that I'm slowing. I always take my time in intersections because that's where the danger is. Gotta be careful. If there's pedestrian traffic hanging around in the lane in front of me and they have their backs to me, I'll call out, heads up or something, or on your right or on your left. Sometimes they're just not paying attention. Sometimes there's groups of cyclists and they're heading right at you on your right, their far left. just walking along looking at their cell phones. And here's a guy that's turning left into this intersection, so even though there's not a stop here, it's slow. Oh, there is a stop, never mind. I will stop, proceed carefully. Always look both directions. You've had a lot of accidents at these intersections, so you can see by the way they've marked them. Sort of bug whack my helmet. Every once in a while I get a bee fly in between the slats and get stuck between the helmet and my hair, frantically fighting to get out. In which case I think you want to stop and remove your helmet cautiously. I don't think they're likely to sting you if you got a lot of hair like I do. But if I were bald, I'd be concerned about that. You saw the sign, welcome to Orting, small town, big view. That's true, very small town. And nice big view of the mountain here, as you can see ahead of us. Lots of new residential here, which is kind of weird because this town is seriously in danger of a lahar from the volcano. If one of those glaciers lets loose up in the mountain, it can create a wall of mud and rock and water and ice. Anywhere from 10 to 50 or 100 feet deep, traveling anywhere from 35 to 60 miles an hour, they estimate. It would just wipe every living thing off the face of the map here. We have a sophisticated system of lahar warnings, sirens built into the town, and sensors up on the sides of the mountain, because you have theoretically about 45 minutes of notice. One of the things I always think about when I ride this trail is if the lahar sirens were to go off, and it's not a drill, they do drills once a month. I know it's typically about 10 a.m. I don't remember the day offhand, I should know that. I'll try to find that out and post it. But if they go off now, it wouldn't be a drill. So you'd want to know the best and quickest way to get up out of the valley. That is Orting High School off to our left, and the shopping center anchored by Safeway off to our right. Nice shopping center here. We have a McDonald's, a Subway, good Chinese restaurant, gas station. I often will combine errands and do a little shopping while I'm out here, as long as it's something small I can carry. Not today though. Here through downtown, the trail winds and winds its way a little bit through downtown. but mostly keeping you away from cars, which is nice. There's a nice little park here in Orting. Very crowded on the weekends, but lots of parking space. Can be a nice starting point for a ride if you're going either up or down. Typically people will go up because that's the prettiest part of the ride. The park is about the halfway point up to the top, so we've done about 7 miles now, 7.5 miles on our way up to South Prairie. Orting Station. Here's where the rear view mirror comes in handy. That was a little odd. Maybe that guy was afraid of bees. There he's robbing somebody. Nice little park here for the kids. Bathrooms right there to our left. Almost always open during daylight hours so you can change or whatever. Also used to be a bicycle shop up here on the right, and the guy got beat up basically by a bunch of thugs out in front of the shop one day. Well, actually, it's still there. I guess he must have reopened. Huh. Didn't know that. Thought he was going out of business. Giving up. Talked to him on the way back, see how he's doing. Nice guy. Good parking here. Pretty much this is the last major traffic section I'm going to go because I've got clearance here. And you get into more wilderness cycling, or at least out in the wilderness more, out of the downtown part of Orting. Fire department here. There's a nice recycling station here. You can do glass and cans and whatnot, and then a little skateboard park, which is quite popular. Although not right now while school's in session, I suppose. A lot of residential. Little BMX park here. Gotta watch here because often there's BMX riders who will zip out on the trail and not even look. In the fall, when salmon's fishing season opens, we'll meet up with the river up here, the Carbon River. Gotta be careful here because this is a farm. They've got a lot of cross traffic. And you have cows usually that graze out here on the right, although I don't see them out right now, usually in the evenings. Oh, they're out there. Smell them. So anyway, when the salmon are running and it's legal to fish them, a lot of fishermen traffic on this trail, some on bikes, a lot of walking, swinging poles wildly hither and yon. So you have to announce real well and drive carefully. Wouldn't want to catch a hook as you were heading out. This is usually right here the most crowded portion of this trail, but nobody on it right now. It's kind of nice. Oh, salmonberries right there, white blossoms. So the salmonberry is a salmon-colored, light orange berry. Sometimes it gets red. Not sweet at all. Very low sugar content, but good flavor. So if you add sugar to them, you pick. This is not very well known, but you pick a bunch of salmonberries. They're very plentiful. Pick pick salmon berries, add a bunch of sugar, and it tastes like raspberries, basically. Really good. And they make tasty wine. A little bit of a bitter edge to them, but that pretty much disappears if you're turning them into jam or wine. The other berry I like that grows along here, a couple more, but one that comes after salmon berries is the thimbleberry. Bright red. They're just kind of like caps. You pull off the bud, and you pick thimbleberries for a long time before you come up with a pint of them. But they're very tasty, very sweet raspberry-like flavor, and they'll grow right mixed in with these salmonberry bushes here a little later. The Northwest is also famous for mushrooms. A few in the spring, a few morels, just not very many around, but a few around in spots. And but in the fall, lots of, the biggest mushroom around is the chanterelle. You won't see them off trail like this typically, but if you get off into the off the beaten path, you'll see quite a few fine chanterelles and many other varieties of mushrooms, many of them edible. We have some grow around within a mile or two of our house, not very many. Typically we drive south about an hour and ascend up into the foothills of Mount Rainier. Find them at altitude in some of the damper rainforests up there, lots of them. I'll take usually 3 or 4 trips up there in September, October, early November time frame, depending on how long they last. Usually October is good. I just realized I forgot to turn on my cycling program. Couple nice spots here for hikers to enjoy the river. Carbon River view here. This is, I think we went over the bridge already. This is beyond the point at which it'll be fished. The bridge is the stopping point there. So if there are fishermen crowds, they thin out considerably here. At this point we've been climbing just slightly, a little bit of a headwind against us, so I'm working a little bit more. Scotch broom, that's the yellow, smells really good right now. It won't last super long. That's an invasive species weed that's growing all over the Northwest. I'm going to pull off to this just for a brief break. Well, actually, no view at this one, so I'm going to get the next one. But I'll pull off. I need to clean a bug out from under a contact lens and get a drink. And I'll shut off when I do that. And then we'll continue. Man, all my viewing points here have been covered with weeds. Look at this. A lot of growth occurring right now. Usually this is wide open.